Everything there is a season, and to every time, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which Solomon said he has made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he has set the world that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. Also, that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. Now, in the New Testament, chapter 6, verses 6 through 10. The militant missionary Apostle Paul writes, "Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things." Paul writes further, "Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit everlasting. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season I'll reap if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good to all, especially to them who are of the household of faith. I thought for the morning in connection with these messages, if you'll repeat after me, the harvest of due season. Amen. Thank you. The harvest of due, D-U-E. The harvest of due season. In both these texts, we see the mention of the word season. King inspired writing in the book of Ecclesiastes, he begins this chapter 3 by telling us that to everything there is a season, and to every purpose under heaven. Solomon is just in his spiritual observation how it takes time for God's purposes to ripen. We used to sing and say, "You can't hurry, God. You just have to wait. You've got to trust him and give him time, no matter how long it takes." Remember, he's a God. You can't hurry. He'll be, don't you worry. He may not come when you want him, but you can be sure he's always on time. The Apostle Paul writes to the church at Galatia, said, as you have therefore, let us do good to all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. In both these texts, Ecclesiastes and in the book of Galatians, we see the mention of the word season. King Solomon, in his inspired writing, writes to everything season. Solomon is sharing with us his spiritual observation, how it takes time for God's purposes to ripen. Things do not happen overnight. Why the old saints used to sing the song, you can't hurry God. You just have to wait. You've got to trust him and give him time, no matter how long it takes. Remember, he is a God that you can't hurry, but he will be there. Don't you worry. He may not come when you want him. You can be sure he's always on the time. Now, normally, during the course of a year, there are 4 parts to every year. Winter, summer, spring, and fall. And each part of the year is called a season. The appropriate time for things and activities. The best time or the right time. Winter, summer, spring, and fall. 4 seasons for every human being. We Christians, soldiers of the cross, we have a 5th season. We have another season other than winter, summer, spring. Allows these the continuation of season. Thank God for the due season. God said in the beginning of time, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night. Them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And again in Genesis, missionary Apostle Paul is the writer of the book of Galatians. And in this 6th chapter of Galatians, for Paul's writing, the driving force behind the believer's behavior. In Galatians, the 6th chapter and the 7th verse, Paul draws our attention to the law